Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful concept from the Bhagavad Gita called Karma Yoga. Now, you probably heard it boiled down to a single sentence, but trust me, that little summary misses the whole point. The real meaning is so much deeper and way more practical for our crazy modern lives. So let's unpack it together. So let's start with the big question. What actually is Karma Yoga? If you've heard the term before, I bet a specific idea pops into your head. Probably something that sounds a lot like this.
Right? Work hard, but don't worry about the result. It's a nice thought, isn't it? It's that classic piece of advice that gets thrown around everywhere. It kind of suggests this idea of, being ambitious, but chill about it. But is that really all there is to it? Is this profound, ancient philosophy just a life hack to help us stress less about our to-do lists? Well, as you've probably guessed, there is so much more going on just beneath the surface. To really get it, we first have to peel back the layers of this super common misconception. It's not that the popular definition is wrong exactly, it's just, it's incomplete. See, at its very core, the word yoga actually means union. So, Karma Yoga is the path of achieving union, a connection between our individual soul, the Atma, and the universal divine, the Paramatma. And we do it through our actions, our karma. This changes everything, right? Suddenly, it's not just a work ethic, it's a spiritual path. And this whole path really comes from a fundamental conflict, a huge dilemma that honestly I think a lot of us still feel today, this tension between knowledge and action.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. On one side, you have the path of knowledge. It says, hey, this material world is just an illusion, so the most logical thing to do is to renounce it all. Head for the hills, meditate, and just detach. But then, the path of action comes back with this powerful counterargument: you can't actually escape action. Think about it. Even a monk who's meditating is still doing something.
And the Gita is super direct about this. From the simple act of breathing to just thinking a thought, our entire existence is just a constant flow of action. So if we can never truly escape action, then the goal can't be to stop acting. The goal has to be to learn how to act wisely.
So to figure out how to act wisely, we first have to ask a deeper question. Who or what is actually doing the acting? And this brings us to this incredible idea of the relationship between your soul and its vehicle, your body.
The Gita explains that our true self, our core identity, is the soul, the Purusha. The body, on the other hand, along with our mind and everything in the material world, that's Prakriti. It's just the vehicle. It's the tool. Think of it like your car. You are the driver, not the car itself. You use the car to get where you need to go. In the same way, your soul uses your body to act in this world and, ultimately, to connect with the divine.
Now, to see how this all plays out in the real world, let's look at a little modern story, a parable that makes this ancient wisdom incredibly clear. We'll call it The Monk Who Couldn't Sleep. So, this is Rahul, and by all the usual standards, he's a huge success. He's a top businessman, probably has all the money, the status, the whole shebang. But on the inside, he's totally miserable, completely frustrated, and just burned out.
So what does he do? He goes for a radical solution, one that comes straight from that path of knowledge we just talked about. He thinks, you know what, my life is the problem, so I'll just get rid of it. He decides he's going to renounce it all and become a monk.
But here's the kicker. He gives up the business, the fancy house, the expensive clothes, and yet, absolutely nothing changes on the inside. He's still lying awake at night, completely consumed by the same old stress and anxiety. He changed his entire world, but he brought his mind with him. The problems weren't out there, they were in him.
And the Gita has a pretty strong word for this situation. Krishna actually calls this person a hypocrite. Because if you physically stop doing things, but you let your mind just obsess over all the stuff you gave up, you're just fooling yourself. Rahul may have renounced his business on the outside, but in his head he was still in the corner office running the company. Okay, so if Rahul's high-stress job wasn't the real problem, and running away from it all clearly didn't help, what was the actual root cause of all his suffering?
It all comes down to one single powerful word: attachment. See, it wasn't his success that was making him miserable. It was his attachment to that success. It wasn't his challenges, but his deep, anxious attachment to forcing specific outcomes and his inability to just let go.
The Gita just lays out this destructive chain reaction so perfectly. It all starts with attachment, to a thing, to a person, to an outcome.
That attachment then gives birth to desire, this desperate need to have it, to possess it, to control it. And what happens when that desire inevitably gets blocked or frustrated? You get anger, frustration, suffering. This is the exact cycle that was trapping Rahul, and let's be honest, it's the same one that traps us.
And all of this brings us full circle. Because once you understand this toxic cycle of attachment, it reveals the true meaning of karma yoga, the path of wise action.
So here's the most important takeaway from all of this. Karma yoga is not about running away from the world like Rahul tried to do. It is absolutely not about renouncing action itself. You don't have to quit your job and become a monk to find peace. It is the renunciation of attachment to the results. You still perform your duty. You do your work with 100% of your effort and focus and excellence, but you mentally let go of your claim on the outcome. You act with everything you've got, but you release that desperate need for a specific reward or recognition. That is real freedom.
And that leaves us with one final thought, because this isn't just some ancient philosophy, it's a practical tool you can use right now. So ask yourself, what is one action, big or small, that you could perform today with just a little less attachment to how it all turns out?